Clips.
And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Alright, boob tubes.
Clips.
So good. I want you to hear it twice. Thrice. So good morning, welcome to the Daily PoliTITS. See what the tits of PoliTITS are saying today. So before, just a wee browse round some of the news outlets to see what the news cycle, see what the media is telling us all to think about today. Because bear in mind, if you only get your information from Twitter or the internets, you're just getting this shit regurgitated. You're just getting this stuff filtered through some truth industrial complex talking heads, fucking charlatan shells and nut. But anywho, let's get back to it. So, this was hilarious. I just clocked this, right?
Take care.
We've got the headlines coming up.
So, you know, to save the planet, they're trying to get us to eat insects.
Digestible compared.
So they got this weird professor on who's now baking muffins using flicking insects, some sort of, I think it's crickets. So they bring in the normal muffins and the cricket muffins to let the talking heads of the BBC try them on air to show us how we need to start eating crickets to save the planet. Because they're just as good, they've got just as much protein as a fucking, got more protein in it than a chicken, but it doesn't hurt the planet as much. You know, so well, let's just get rid of fucking animals altogether and eat insects. Captain Planet loves it.
To a whey, which is a milk protein.
And how do our bodies process this protein?
Now, watch your face.
If differently, or I mean, I suppose you're trying to prove whether or not we can process it better in terms of muscle regeneration and, you know, health and everything.
To be fair, it doesn't have to be better than milk-based proteins or plant-based proteins. It's more to see, is this a good alternative? Because if it works as efficiently as the plant-based proteins...
I don't know about you, when I go into a five-star restaurant, that's the face that I want serving me. Check, please!
Then we can say you can actually start using this in your cooking.
Yeah, so Ralph, I have tried first.
Look at her face, she's nearly been sick. In fact, live on air, look, she's nearly been sick.
Number two. Now, I am assuming
that
number two is the one using the
like she's spitting it out and
everything. This is a lot drier and has a distinct flavour to it. But I don't know how much that is in the bake.
Let that be a lesson to you. Don't eat insects. Live on air to try and save the fucking planet.
Which one did you think was the insect one?
The one that she nearly was sick over. Let me guess. See the one that made her no be able to talk and go up live on fucking BBC One? I'm guessing that's the insect shite, and it obviously tastes like shite. No, look what she just done, and then wait till you see after the talking piece in her ear tells her, get your shit together. You're making these insect fucking muffins look disgusting.
I thought that one on the right.
We've been paid lots of dough. We've got Captain Planet with a gun to your head here. You better make those insect things look good, hen.
Right here, the drier of the two was the insect.
That one looked like it. They both taste bad, if I'm being honest.
I don't think so. I quite like the first one. Anyway, which one was the insect one?
Well, you quite like the insect one then. Because the first one actually has the insect in it, and the other one has the whey protein in it. And
right, so they're both not normal muffins. One of them's they're both fucking protein bar fucking muffins. No wonder they taste like shite.
I have to admit, because from our research perspective, we add quite a lot of protein. So one of these muffins has 20 grams of protein, which is quite a lot of protein for one muffin. That's why they are quite dry and why some people...
I don't know about you, but when I'm at the gym, man, I always see the big fucking meatheads fucking piling fucking muffins in them before going for a workout.
People say, oh, I don't really like the taste as much.
But good cooks will find ways, won't they? So, and do you know what? We've got to do something. We've got, Ben's at a mill factory today, and we're talking about...
Well, I think we should just kill everybody on the planet and solve it. Fucking let Putin and fucking Trump throw nukes at each other. Boom shakalaka. We can start eating cows again.
The shortage and the difficulties in kind of producing different alternatives.
This is her trying to save it.
So thank you. Thank you what's the name of your research assistant who baked these?
James Rutherford.
James, thank you for the cookie, for the muffins.
They were fucking disgusting and nearly made me fucking sick live on air. Thank you very much, fucking crazy doctor.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't make stick face. Save it. Thank you for the cook. And they were interesting. She just told me 2 seconds ago that we're both disgusting.
Well, take care.
We've got the headlines coming up in just a moment.
Oh, that's the end of the hour shit, mate, that they just like, so like native advertising, they're just selling you fucking insects there to save the planet. So let's get to the top of the hour news and we'll see what's happening. Let me see. Yeah! Right. It's the Wigman! Good, I hope he's going to be a permanent fixture. I'm going to get myself a coffee.
Live from London, this is BBC News. The world's first personalised vaccine for melanoma skin cancer, hailed as a potential game changer for treatment, is being tested on British patients. Top US diplomat Antony Blinken is to meet with China's President Xi in Beijing shortly.
I'm Asde Mashiri in front of the post office inquiry where victims have gathered to hear a former senior post office executive questioned on what she knew and when she knew it.
Actress Ashley Judd calls the overturning of one of Harvey Weinstein's rape convictions an act of institutional betrayal.
There's no doubt that Harvey Weinstein is a serial sexual predator. It doesn't change the fact that he committed these crimes.
We're live at the Union Jack Club in London for a very special history lesson as children ask questions of Normandy veterans ahead of the 80th anniversary of D-Day coming up in June.
So that's what the BBC's telling us to think about. The anti-vaxxers will love that, man. We've now got a cancer vaccination. Woohoo! Wonder if it will be the new fucking mRNA stuff or whatever. See if we can catch a wee bit of Jeremy Vine when it comes on.
Concern Holyrood, and as you...
Right, we can go back to that. Let's see what this mob is saying at the top of the hour. If I can get it to work.
Here at Australia's oldest university, going back more than 170 years. And although it is small and hasn't been going a long time, organisers...
Work. Oh, there's that anti-Semite slogan, the river to the sea. From the river to the sea, anti-Semitic tent. Anti-Semite tent spotted in Australia. Quick, get the cops onto it. There's a tent being anti-Semitic. Why has it been anti-Semitic? It's got writing on it that hurt my feelings. And those hate speech laws are ridiculous. Make your fucking mind up. Nah, it's not working. Right.
The university to cut all ties with Israeli establishments. I put that question to the university. They didn't address...
This is the same tactic that was used throughout the South African apartheid movement when a lot of people pulled their dough out for a lot of companies and all that, pulled their dough out for South Africa, so it's the same
overseas if the
kind of
proposed
idea.
activity was assessed as potentially unlawful.
Belgium has summoned the Israeli ambassador after an aid worker was killed in Rafah. Belgium's development minister said the 33-year-old and his 7-year-old
Lloyd
son
Brown,
were among
who gives a fuck?
casualties of an Israeli airstrike. He was part of Belgium's development aid efforts in the Gaza Strip.
But he was brown.
The spokesperson for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said they were moving ahead with plans for a ground operation on Rafah, but no timeline has yet been given. Al Jazeera's Hani Mahmoud joins us now from Rafah in southern Gaza, and there must be on top of everything else people there are having to deal with, some very real fears and concerns about what the targeting of aid workers could mean for the movement of humanitarian assistance into the Gaza Strip.
Well, let's work on the premise that some, if not all, of these attacks on aid workers are not accident, right? There's a lot of people out there suggesting that it's a tactic that's getting used as a weapon of war to stop the aid going in, thus weakening the enemy. You know, it ain't really, it's not rocket science to figure out what the motivation for deliberately hitting these aid workers would be, you know, and then they need to rely on the premise or the belief that Israel would never deliberately target aid workers and whatnot. Not a spliff this morning, my man. I've not even had a smoke yet, which is quite good for me. But I'll have a wee vape. News, coffee, and a vape. No way, better way to start the day. Oh my god, sort your audio. Is that a fucking helicopter in...
Yes, well, past attacks on aid organizations and aid workers on the ground have led some of the organizations to suspend their operations across the strip. This is unusual.
Audio triggers me, man. Shite, audio triggers me. It's because I use headphones and you can hear it's like a bee in my ear.
And trucks to be delivered across the Gaza Strip, not only in overcrowded areas like Rafah City, but in the northern part where there is famine going on, and these ongoing repeated attacks just discouraging organizations, deepening this.
Not to diminish what the guy's saying, or it's just the same old, isn't it? It's just tell me, sing it again, Sam.
Adding, we will not be complicit and we will not be silent. Judaism is a beautiful 1,000-year-old tradition, and Israel is a 76-year-old colonial apartheid state.
That's the Orthodox Jews, the self-hating Jews.
Israel. That's what they're saying, not in their name, and that is something that they're focusing on. Hence why they say
that's what yous are focusing on as well, because a real problem for fucking Judonia, isn't it?
Generational shift. It was unheard of for a U.S. politician to speak this way about Israel. Are U.S. politicians tired of Israel? How many have only been pressured by Israeli lobbies to support Israeli security at the cost of Palestinian lives? Lobbies like AIPAC, for example.
You're Hitler if you don't support
Israel. A Jewish anti-Zionist movement.
That narrative has been working very successfully for a very long time now.
It's called Jewish Voice for Peace. And that's
you question, criticise Israel, you're an anti-Semite, Hitler lover.
In the world. Their slogan, we have a plan to end U.S. support for Israelis' oppression of Palestinians. There are other groups as well. The movements share a common goal to organize a grassroots, multi-racial,
the audio was better today.
Intergenerational movement of U.S. Jews into solidarity. Well, they hold the view that American Jews and Jews worldwide believe that Israel is a Zionist settler project and does not speak for all the Jews or represents a haven for Judaism. Now, all of these elements or groups united against apartheid
it's
regime
not
in Israel
created a safe haven for Judaism, it's created a fucking kill zone for Jews, and they can't see it. They're all getting played like, I hear go to Israel, man, you'll get blown up. Go to Israel, bring your army, we need more soldiers.
U.S. unbridled support for Israel's crimes in Gaza has stirred some strong anger both globally and within the ranks of the U.S. government. Now, State Department's Arabic language spokesperson has resigned due to opposition to Washington's policy on the Israeli onslaught. Hala Rarit, a State Department third employee to resign over U.S. support for Israel's genocide. Just last month, Anel Shalin, an employee at the State Department's Human Rights Bureau, announced her resignation. Josh
double audio, can you hear it?
Resigned in October, and Tariq Habash, a senior official with the U.S. Department of Education, also stepped down in January. The U.S. has come under mounting criticism, both internationally and from a number of human rights groups over support
good mate.
For Israel.
Good way to start your day, man.
Officials, the U.S. Agency for International Development signed an open letter back in November calling for an immediate...
I hang up dead bodies. It's a wee bit too early in the morning, man. Fucking see fucking dead Palestinian fucking babies dripped in front of you. Oh! I spoke too soon. It's never too early in the morning for some dead fucking babies. Gaza civil defence, at least 392. Oh, that's the hospital, mass grave at the hospital. I mean, who wouldn't? Fuck off, fat man. Go to a gym and stop being so fucking drunk and fucking lazy to speak. Honestly.
Police.
Remember, folk, they hate us for our freedoms!
Protest against their government's support for Israel and demanding an immediate ceasefire. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described the outpouring of U.S. student solidarity with Palestinians as reminiscent of...
You ever hear like too posh to push? This guy's too posh to fucking talk.
It's horrific. Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. This is reminiscent of what happened in German universities in the 1930s. It's unconscionable.
It's me, but you are at the fucking forehead, you're the front line.
RT correspondent Caleb Orpin visited one of the protest camps and spoke with students and other participants.
Is he drunk
to find
or
out what
fucking posh?
they think about how politicians in both the US and Israel are viewing their support for Palestine.
Universities and student organizing has been the backbone of every single movement for progress. And so I know that the efforts that we have going on here today are going to make an impact. When media chooses to center the encampments and kind of just lose sight a little bit of the fact that this is all centered around Gaza and the genocide that's happening, that's murdered over 40,000 people in, is it 203 days now? Maybe 202? I think that's where we kind of lose some of that meaning. But I think that there is still ways to hold on to that.
We are here as Jews, as Jewish people.
Whoa, fuck hell, take that gun out! His hair!
That the Zionist
his fucking
people,
hair! That is fucking
Israel,
impressive, man.
They don't represent Jewish people as no...
Now, remember, this is RT's propaganda to destabilise the West. The RT news that goes out to the Ruskies isn't showing any of this shit to their population. Putin's ball deep in on fucking Israel. But they'll use Israel, like everybody uses the Jews. That's what they're there for. Just look at history. So why not? So he uses the Jews, or what's happening in Israel and the Jews, to destabilise the West, while at the same time supporting Israel and the Jews. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Way. Before the upcoming of Zionists was the Jewish people and the Palestinian live in peace with them, no problems. But they make another Holocaust of the Palestinians.
Now, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson recently went to Columbia University to give a press conference condemning the student protest.
Here's a little, not very well known fact. Judonia has another Judonia in Russia. It's the Jewish autonomous obelisk. This was a wee area of land that Russia gave to the Jews to fucking, for their final solution. Yeah, fuck off there. We'll give you this wee fucking shithole. Go and set up shop. It's over in the east, southeast of Russia. That's it there. I think it borders China, if I remember right. Aye, it does, or borders the old China. So, and that's Korea as well, isn't it? Hold on. No, it's China. Sorry. But aye, there's the Jewish autonomous obelisk in Russia. Not a lot of many people know that. Do you know that? Anywho, let's get back to the guy with the cool hat.
Needless to say, he was not well received by those in attendance.
Bear, the Star of David. Enjoy your free speech.
I've found that a lot of people are coming into these spaces to get clout and to kind of capitalize off of what's happening. There is a lot of attention and momentum being built.
Politicians capitalizing on shit? I've never heard such a thing.
Choosing to try to profit off of it, whether it be to villainize us or to quote unquote support us. I think that there is a time and place.
Right, I'm going to see if I can pause that there and move on. We kind of get the flavour of that. Olympic Dream, GB News, Lawless Britain, violence offences is up. Can you ever remember any news organisation anywhere reporting that violent crime is down? Now, I'll probably be stood corrected because no doubt somewhere it has came through, but what doesn't happen is it doesn't get pushed on to the public consciousness because there's no dog in the fight. There's nobody to witness. There's nothing to be gained from fucking crime coming down. What are you going to do? Right, oh, here, see these taxes you're paying for cops to keep you safe? Have some of them back. They're doing such a great job. Crime's down. Oh, look at that big fat cunt. He's got a head grown out his head. He's an insult to symmetry. Look at the cut of the jib of all these people. Go and do your due diligence on the talking heads. All of them. They call themselves journalists. Right? Because some of them might have worked for newspapers. See if you're Rupert Murdoch's fucking lackey. Talking head gimp. Does that make you a journalist? Next you'll be telling me Tommy Robinson's a...
Coming up next, just weeks after showing off his boxing.
Independent Republic of Mike Graham, brought to you by Rupert Murdoch. Her day for Ashley Judd. Oh my god. The people in America all go to the same plastic surgeon. And who the fuck in the world tells them that they look good after getting their face looking like that? Fucking poor woman, man. Guys are now caught in it as well. Well, I was going to say all the gay guys are caught in it as well now, but I think it is only gay guys that I've seen that look like fucking cats or reptiles because of plastic surgery. Right, let's go back to the BBC's.
Hello, I'm Nicky Schiller. Welcome to the programme. We start this...
Wig or no wig? That is the question. It's definitely a wig. His houses. Look, it's different for today. Right, hold on. I'm going to go back to that. I want to hear about this guy.
Sale at an auction for
Jeremy Vine, do you know what he is? He's one of the Pink Floyd, The Wall puppets.
Princess Margaret's ashtray. Answer coming.
Yeah, folks, that's what my ma fucking sucks in and then makes her world opinions on. I'm like, oh god. Right, you're going to do? She can watch what she wants and what she likes. Back in the day, I would have been like, maybe Jeremy Vine is right. Remember, it's nothing more than, oh, I've done this before, man. I have done this before. Hold on, I'm acting like I don't have my brain with me. Who produces Jeremy Vine? That's what we'll be asking. Let's...
game changer in the treatment of skin cancer. The world's first personalised vaccine for melanoma, the deadliest form of skin
produces
cancer,
Jeremy
has begun
Vine
being
on
tested
5?
in Britain. Some other countries, including Australia, are also trying it out on patients.
Matt Spencer, producer of Jeremy Vine, ITN Productions, Previous 5 News, Channel 4 News.
Boom. Right? We have only 3 news organisations disguised in all the channels, all the fucking endless channels that they give us here in the UK. It's the BBC, Sky News and ITN. Everything else just fucking drips onto that. Then on top of that, you've got like, and these are the main international ones, AP and Reuters. And then the further you go down the chain, it's all echo chambers that go through an editor. Right? Now, the BBC still try to give the veneer of being reporters, i.e. reporting on the facts as they stand. You bounce onto channels like this and GB News, it's personalities giving you their opinion about stuff they heard from the BBC and Reuters and AP. And even take it a step further, think of everybody that might get their fucking news from Twitter. Tommy Robinson. People that might get their news from fucking or get their opinions for the mountain of fucking deranged talking heads out there on YouTubes. You've got just a fucking the freaking world of zombies walking about, man, who don't even know they're parroting like the main fucking staples, i.e. BBC, Sky News. You know, you need. I remember when I started doing this, right, it was, I can't even remember, way back in the day, and they were telling, the people were showing you the structures of BBC, Sky News, Fox News, they own that, they own this, and then I started applying it, because I was doing Not the Infowars Nightly News, to all the Truther Industrial Complex talking heads, and then that's when I seen they were all just a big fucking integrated web, fucking blowing smoke up each other's eyes, blowing smoke up each other's arseholes, kicking in, and cross-promoting each other, and then if you didn't and if you weren't all fucking singing from the same hymn sheet, kind of saying the same thing with a different fucking skirt on, you weren't in the gang, and if you criticised Alex Jones, whoa, out the gang, because you're not going to, if you fucking point out he's a big fat charlatan that'll tell you the water's killing you, then sell you a water filter, tell you the food's got no nutrients in it, and the New World Orders try to kill you with water and food, and then sell you nutrients. Oh, shit, sorry. It's my morning rant over me. Let's get back to the man in the wig.
The treatment, which uses the same
good, that's my state in the world of Spaceballs. So, yeah, I nailed it at the beginning, top of the show.
Hunt down cancer cells.
Right, so the anti-vax dudes will be loving that.
Person's cancer.
So it's the new mRNA or some shit. That thing he just said. I think they deliberately abbreviate the thing so fucking hard just to like fucking take fucking us dyslexics out. He'll never talk about that. Alphabet soup. It'll take him about 3 years and 10 notepads to even say that. Yeah, there it's there right in front of me. mRNA. I mean, what can possibly go wrong about this fucking proven longevity testy technology? What could possibly go wrong? Roll up lab rats. But each to their own. And cost-benefit analysis. I'm a fucking albino that stays in the desert. This vaccine may or may not fuck me up. So there's the cost-benefit analysis, you know.
Very specific treatment, highly personalised.
Okay, doctors are hoping to recruit at least 70 patients across centres.
The vaccine actually
Personalised. Yeah, man. Look at days later. Oh man. And even now, Big Pharma's get such a fucking massive fucking. They're so powerful. People's assholes twitch to talk about something that's on the fucking BBCs.
And so, centres in the UK done months. It could a lot
across that already held talks in Beijing with the foreign minister Yang Yi. Mr. Wang said the US-China relationship had begun to.
I'm sorry, I don't want to stay in a world where somebody being called Mr. Wang can't be laughed at. It's not big, it's not clever. It's very much childish fucking. But it's innocent humour, which is allowed, even though it is laughing at somebody's name. You know, some people's names, some people do have funny names. What was that? Humperdinck? Try to think of funny people's names. Rupert. Tommy Robinson.
Stabilise in recent months, but negative factors were increasing. He said the choice was between international cooperation or rivalry and confrontation that could even slide into conflict.
He looks like a Wang.
He said it was important to discuss differences to avoid miscalculations. Well, let's go live to our China.
Right, I'm taking it Mr. Wang there is married, right? And if he had kids, and did they call it, if one of them was a boy, would they call him Little Wang? So then you'd have Big and Little Wang in the one family. That would be sweet. Right, there. This is a genuine story. I once worked in a call centre. It was relatively small, less than 100 folk, right? It was a new one. The CEO or owner or whatever, the manager, top dog was called Rod Stewart. And in the workforce was a Jack Daniels and James Brown. Beautiful.
China correspondent Stephen McDonald, who's in Beijing for us. So, Mr. Blinken getting
he's an
meeting
Australian
with the president, Stephen.
See, this fucks me up. An Australian on BBC reporting from a
the US Secretary of State.
It makes sense to me now. Australia is so close to China, right?
Gone to the Great Hall of the People and met China's top leader to discuss the significant differences that these two superpowers have. I mean, earlier, the words we got from both Antony Blinken and Wang Yi and when they had that sort of open session at the beginning of their meeting were very strong from both sides, making it pretty clear they have these differences.
I think that's why Chinamen don't have a sense of humour.
Would say is that it's good that they're
otherwise they couldn't have moved for laughing because all their names are so fucking funny.
Of course, the worst thing would be for these two.
So that, right? We need to eliminate. We are not going to be able to build a communist empire. No fucking chance unless we ban humour and laughing. Because our names are so fucking funny. Shushwang-pee.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, it's good that China and the US are talking about these areas where they can cooperate, but the fact that they're also having discussions about their significant differences is also quite crucial.
Yes, and what are likely to be those areas of difference that have been discussed behind closed doors?
The South China Sea?
Well, the US delegation has promised to call on China to stop supporting Russia in its invasion of Ukraine, and the Chinese side has said...
Hold on, wait a minute. Right, North Korea's supplying Ruskies with some missiles, right, which it didn't blow me away, but I found it surprising, right, and call me ever the skeptic. North Korea is the dangleberry of the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, it gets presented as a... It's like trying to say that Ukraine is independent, you know? North Korea wouldn't exist if China withdrew its support for it. I don't think it could even feed its population. And vice versa with Ukraine. And yet you get the BBCs who are relying on what you could probably call real reporting. It's news and facts that come through the Reuters and AP, etc., etc. And then the BBC's got an editorial stance. Definitely, 100%. It has to, because it has to live up to the fucking licence agreements that it's got with the government, if you get me. The contract between the BBC and the government, so which gives it all those the ability to make money off the TV licence. And then we get it filtered to us.
Said that what it will be saying to Antony Blinken is you should stop militarily supporting Taiwan, which it sees as a rogue province of China to at some point be unified with the mainland. So they both have their key points they want to criticize the other for, and they're all to do with military matters and the potential for...
Right, I don't think you guys and gals can see that shit. Red lines. You remember Obama's red line in Syria? Remember Nutjob's red line when he fucking brought it? That's how stupid these motherfuckers think we are. Do you remember? Long may we forget. Pretty sure it was the United Nations. Nut job got on the podium doing a Gaddafi, but this time he made himself look like a right clown and brought out a picture of a big bomb. A cartoon bomb, a big circle, and drawing lines on it. Like, he was trying to demonstrate like how much the grade that Iran was able to enrich their uranium to, which is very important in making nuclear bombs, I do believe. Look at me, don't believe me, I'm a nuclear scientist now. According to the internet, I can now say I'm a nuclear scientist. Anywho, let's get back to the red lines.
Greater conflict, so it's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, Ukraine and Taiwan mentioned, but they do also have economic differences, but need to cooperate economically because they're the two biggest economies in the world.
Yeah, they're completely interlocked, and everybody else in the world also needs China and the US to find some sort of a way forward. I think we're probably not going to go back to the more open trade that they did have, now that certain product lines, certain types of equipment are being blocked by both sides. Anything that has a potential military application, and that can stray into the likes of AI or what have you. But even if they can draw lines in the sand,
Can the BBC do a programme and explain to me what AI is in their imagination?
they can set up guardrails, if they can decide, well, all right, we're maybe not going to sell this or that, or we're going to have tariffs on these items, at least it's known what those items are. Okay, now which areas can we free trade up? And it's the not knowing is the problem. And that's why, for example, businesses, US businesses, say, in China, wondering how the relationship is going to go, because they've got to decide whether or not to sink big money often into expanding their operations and the like, and they need some sort of certainty. So this is why these talks on the economy are also pretty important.
Stephen McDonnell in Beijing, thank you. Hollywood actress
Ashley
Judd says the overturning of disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction is a hard day for survivors.
Definitely a wink.
She was the first woman to go public with the allegations against Weinstein. New York's highest court has ruled he didn't get a fair trial, although the 72-year-old will remain in prison. He was separately convicted of rape in Los Angeles. Now, the 2020 case was a landmark in the Me Too movement, and many activists, complainants and lawyers say the overturning of his conviction is a setback for abuse survivors. Well, Ashley Judd has...
Now, I've not got my head around the full details here, right? So this isn't news, this is a talking head speculating or shooting the shit. The best, look, when I first heard this, I'm like, he's going to get out and appeal or some shit. But I think it's only one conviction, and I can't remember, I didn't obsess too much over this, so I don't know the gory details. So I don't think this is something that's going to be allowing him to get out of jail. The last I heard was the conviction is going to have to be retried. But the other convictions are going to stay in place. Let's see if the BBC can do better.
Called that overturning an act of institutional betrayal. She's been speaking to my colleague Catriona Perry, who asked her whether she would like to see Weinstein retried.
Mate, get a better wig.
What's important to know is that a courtroom is not a safe environment for survivors of male sexual violence. They can be very traumatizing spaces. The most dangerous place in America for a woman is in her home. We know the men who
I genuinely find it hard to
and a lot of judges
people
are
that
still
afflicted
catching
by
up to
bad
that
plastic
reality.
surgery, man.
And juries don't necessarily know that information either. We still think of rape as stranger rape, as someone who jumps us in an alley. And so a courtroom isn't necessarily, even if Harvey were retried and convicted in the state of New York, the place where survivors are going to get their healing. And that's what we need. That's what we need. It may be a fair outcome if he were reconvicted in New York. And that would, sure, be a magic wand, but survivors need trauma-informed help and for men to stop raping women.
His
Just like that.
said that everyone has the right to justice.
Thank you, Weinstein, you know. The human race. I mean, let's be honest. Men have been raping women since the start of time. Or since the start of raping and pillaging. So to sort of do all this virtuous signal, America, innit? It's all just one big fucking drama show. Everybody loves a bit of drama.
Said even people who are very unpopular in our society, no one is above the law, but no one is below the law either, he said. Do you accept
I
that
agree
point?
with that. Yes. Of course I do. Everyone deserves justice. And I support due process. I had the opportunity to meet the great Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and we talked about due process, even for people who are accused of the most egregious sexual crimes. And, you know, actually right now at the University of Kentucky, where I did my undergraduate degree, a couple of our former student athletes experienced terrible institutional betrayal and have accused my university, of which I'm very proud and which I love.
I can't even focus on the story. Her face is so
and other betrayals, and you know we're going to go through due process there. And I love my university. And
tell us something interesting.
In California is not affected. He will stay in prison. He won't be freed.
Right, like that.
Does that bring you and
like
others
that.
handed down in California?
My university,
We need to come together and sing fucking Kumbaya fucking air.
And other betrayals.
Like, come on, tell us something interesting.
And there's no doubt that Harvey Weinstein is a serial sexual predator. It doesn't change the fact that he committed these crimes. Over 100 women came forward after I was the named source in the New York Times investigation.
Look how happy that makes her.
A separate 16-year sentence handed down in California is not affected. He will stay in prison. He won't be freed. Does that bring you and other survivors any sense of comfort, any sense of justice, or that healing that you're describing?
You know, it's more complex than that, because I don't think the carceral system...
Right, so I'm going to speculate here. His conviction in California stays in place. This one that's been overturned is in New York. They're talking about a new a new trial. Call me a skeptic. So is this judge doing it? He's not doing it to get a Weinstein out. Right, so let's say Weinstein and his cabal, his clique, has got shit on this judge or some influence on the judge. So why is this judge doing it? Well, in America you have, legally speaking, you have state laws, don't you? And you have the federal shit. And I'm pretty sure like convictions may affect your legal status. So your ability to maybe move around assets, money, sell stuff, etc., etc. Because if you've got I don't know this, by the way. I don't know any of the inside baseball or the American system, the New York system, the California system, and even the ins and outs of all the Weinstein stuff, right? He's staying in jail, so why is this happening? Is it just the judge being fucking pernickety into the letter of the law? Or does that affect Weinstein's legal status in the state of New York, which legally would allow him to maybe fucking hide a bit of some of his assets, give some of his assets? Does he get children? Is he married? I don't know. I didn't obsess about that shit, man. I think that was in and around the Me Too movement. But it certainly stinks, doesn't it? It certainly stinks. The judge can't be that stupid that he wouldn't be aware there's going to be a public backlash against him and he's going to be seen as some sort of a rape supporter. So why is he doing it? If it doesn't get him out of jail?
In the United States does perpetrators of male sexual violence any favors either. You know, what I would love to have is a restorative justice conversation with Harvey Weinstein. You know, I think that it's stories, it's narrative that helps change hearts and minds. I'm not about punitive measures. I'm about community and safety.
What the fuck is this woman babbling on about? She's acting as if rape isn't a fucking crime. We need to ban rape. It's already a fucking crime where you can get some heavy time. Not even that, man. She's bouncing around and acting like men sitting boozers and go, I raped 3 last night. Oh man, I done fucking 5. Rape in greater society is not fucking looked upon positively. In fact, quite the opposite. Being known to be a beast could probably get your door put in. Me, man? What dimension are these Fruit Loops fucking staying in? So why is this story here? What the fuck has this got to do with the price of cheese? The guy's staying in jail. New York judge is doing something. Doesn't affect California shit. 2 different states. I get that. Why is it happening? Is it to change his legal status in New York so he can move assets about? Who knows? I don't care, and I ain't even going to go and fucking spend ages in Google's doing fucking backward. This doesn't affect me. It's fucking mindless cannon fodder. And they're not even telling you anything that's
Safety,
merit.
belonging, and forgiveness. I forgave Harvey Weinstein a long time ago. And it was no favor to him. I did it for myself. And
here's my boys, man. Fucking hum on them while you're saying kumbaya.
Carceral system, but you know, Harvey hasn't had a change of heart. He doesn't necessarily, his last words when he was to encroach.
Here's your Clockwork Orange bit. Dude, just to put you to sleep. Dude. Yeah, man. Roll up. And useless survive. No, he can't. He's out. The Alba Party apparently has the Alba Party. If everybody sticks to their parties, which no doubt they will, whoosh, democracy scam. Those people are representing you. No, they ain't. They're representing their party. Get it right.
The latest now on the Israel-Gaza war, and the US military has started building a floating pier off the coast of Gaza that will be used to boost humanitarian aid deliveries.
What fucking bullcrap is this? Is this just posturing? Is this like some clandestine conspiracy to get a kind of beachhead?
The pier will be used to transfer supplies from ships to smaller vessels. The pier is expected to be in operation by
because it's offshore, it's
a
like
British naval vessel, the
joined onto
RFA
Gaza.
Cardigan Bay, is to become a floating dormitory for hundreds of American soldiers and sailors in the eastern Mediterranean, helping deliver aid to Gaza. Earlier, the
there you
UN
go,
relief
beachhead.
For Palestinians warned about disease outbreaks in Gaza amid worsening weather.
Yeah, see the people that we're killing. We needed a floating island with hundreds of soldiers on it to make sure we can feed the pigs before we slaughter them.
The US quite a while to
Job's
get
a good
the boats and ships to build the pontoon to Gaza, but they are starting that process.
Yeah, these vessels that are putting together this floating platform in the Eastern Mediterranean, you know, they don't move fast. So they have taken a while to cross over the Atlantic to get into position. But as you say, the Americans say that platform is now in the process of being made. Essentially what's going to happen is that aid will be delivered and sorted out in Cyprus at a port there. It'll be checked by the Israeli forces to make sure that only aid is...
The UK Army's floating... No. It's not floating. Cyprus, the UK Army's stationary aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean. And not only that, still have a disputed front with Turkey.
Getting on the ships. The ships will then head, large ships, 200 nautical miles south. They'll then dock at this large floating platform that's in the process of being built. The aid will then be taken off the ships onto this floating platform. It'll then be put into trucks. The trucks will then drive onto smaller landing craft. Some of these craft can take up to 15 trucks. And the landing craft will then shuttle onto the shore. And at the shore, there's going to be also another floating platform, a floating causeway that's actually anchored in the sand and is...
What the fuck is that? Is that a fucking episode of MacGyver or something? What the fuck?
Attached to the shore. The landing craft will offload the trucks onto the causeway. The trucks will drive up the causeway onto the beach. They'll deliver the aid into a secure, safe zone that is...
Right, have I turned on the BBC News with this Pinky in the brain? Today, brains. Today, Pinky, we're going to take over the world, okay? We're going to jump off our spaceship.
Secured by the Israeli army.
I find this shit highly amusing.
Turn around and head back and repeat the process.
Interesting. Of course, the humanitarian aid very much needed still, and there is also that focus on Rafah and any possible Israeli
still focusing on
action when
Scotland.
that
Oh,
might
you
take
can't
place.
see that? That's weird. OBS doesn't pick up Channel
The Israeli
5.
cabinet met yesterday, and there is no sign yet that they've made any decision. Some Israeli defence sources...
Hold on. I need to get over that. Let's get the latest
Would
on.
expect Labour, the Liberal Democrats, most of the other opposition politicians at Holyrood
He's
said
got
they
to
would
be
back
SNP.
that. And it was all eyes then on what the Greens would do. They
Looks
were
too much like a
absolutely
hipster to be anything
furious.
else.
And around 5:30 last night, they confirmed that they would back that no confidence vote. They would vote against Scotland's First Minister. So then
Yusuf
it came down
is
to
out.
all eyes on
Alba.
one MSP in particular.
Alba.
Ash Regan, the one-time SNP leadership candidate, the person who stood against Humza Yousaf when Nicola Sturgeon resigned last year and lost, well, she defected to Alex Salmond's Alaba party later on last year and was completely sidelined by many of her former SNP colleagues. Well, the irony now is that she may have the casting vote in this key, crucial moment for the future of Humza Yousaf's premiership next week at Holyrood. We're expecting to hear from her this morning around what some of her demands will be to try and win the support of Humza Yousaf and to back him next week. What will her demands be? Well, we'll find out shortly. But there is no doubt this, the optics of Humza Yousaf cancelling this keynote speech in Glasgow later on is tricky. Sources close to him today are saying, look, he's going to come out fighting today. He is not going to lay back and let this happen, and he will try and take this on head on. But let's see what happens in the coming hours. This is a moving story. No one predicted what would happen in the last 24 hours. What will happen in the coming 48 hours? Who knows?
Well, I know you'll keep us up to date.
Stay tuned. Woohoo! I know he's a reporter.
For that update. Thank you.
I thought he was a...
Let's fill you in now
MP
on the rest of the
getting
day's
it
news.
Yeah, another big story for our viewers is that former Post Office executive Angela von der Bogen...
Ooh, fucking hell, man. I'm getting tired of that fucking piss shit. Right, like, let's sum up in 30 seconds. I'll try to... what's happened with all this shite. Quite obviously, but now we're sitting... How long? 20 years? 15 years later? And what has it been? Inquiry after inquiry after inquiry and after inquiry, and anybody that could be held accountable is fucking dead or been moved on, staying in Spain after getting their pensions, moving their money about, yada 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 yada. And the company who was protected with all this shit is still getting government fucking contracts. So where I would go to is I would look who owns that fucking Fujitsu or whatever fucking shitty little fucking company it is, and look who owns them and see where the fucking shitty of London comes into it, and British investors, British ownership or anything along those lines, and then see let's see if that person who has those investments has maybe been at any government fucking fundraising things. That's where I would go to, because there's a clear cover-up happened, and then you need to figure out why. That a good job? And nobody's going to be held accountable. They're in this And let's not forget the investigation cost millions of pounds as well. Well, the people whose lives have been wrecked are sit there and fucking stupid little soaps are made about them. They're branded around the fucking, as political pawns branded around the news stations as little sort of a mini celebrities. Mental. But I digress.
God, we'll give evidence shortly for us.
Today is more of what
I think she's going to be the woman that's held out.
question her.
Held out.
What was it?
What's the saying?
Acting on you while you
Left out to dry or something?
When you think of your
Left out to die.
experience, and then you- because
Thrown to the wolves, that's what I'm looking. I broke it.
that she was truly
Papers today, really, a revolutionary new cancer jab for melanoma. This has been described, hasn't it, as
A game changer. That'll get people.
that soon it could be rolled out.
The mRNA new technologies opening its way
spend the
for
whole
all these
time
new
just so
Oh,
nervous
whoa,
that
what the
someone would find
fuck?
out she was gay. She never told anybody when she was competing. But she's now out. She came out 2 years ago. She's had to rewrite her life story. And this is one of the things she told me about her beloved job in the army.
Never been ashamed of who I
Oh
am.
my, who'd have guessed she was a lesbian, you know what I'm saying? Fuck's sake, man, I would never have fucking stabbed in the dark about that.
she was going through?
She was in the army as well. Who'd have funked it? While we're here, this is probably the worst one, but we'll try and get the top of the hours.
But
we urge the
Your press via headlines. Hamas calls for independent and international probe into Gaza's mass graves, stressing that the perpetrators of such crimes should not escape punishment. Hezbollah resistance movement targets Israeli military positions in southern Lebanon with missiles after Israeli warplanes launch airstrikes in the area. And U.S. police forces crack down on pro-Palestinian youth protesters at universities holding mass rallies urging Washington to end its military and financial support for Israel.
That's their top headlines. What's it saying down the bottom? Yemeni army spots. I think that's meant to be spots. Israeli ship targeted in Gulf of Aden with missiles and drones. Okie doke. Let's see what RT's saying. That looks like the China shit. What's his name? It's not Biden, obviously.
sovereignty.
China's foreign minister issues that warning to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken during a meeting in Beijing.
Is this talking head drunk?
Between the two major world
or
powers.
posh?
In an attempt to salvage those relations, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has also met with Blinken. Meanwhile, a deepfake video emerges purporting to show the Philippines president calling for an attack against China. We look into the potential dangers of artificial intelligence technologies. Also,
we need to build a Europe capable of showing that it is never the vassal of the United States of America.
those harsh words by the French president against Washington come as the EU largely depends on the US for economic welfare, political support, and even its own security.
Right, that's their top of the hour stuff.
Hi, as does violence against gender and sexual minorities. I've come to Buenos Aires to meet two young women who have taken different routes to establish greater freedom and equality and the ideas that mobilize youth around the world.
Turkey. Tourism program here retains its charms and restoration. Come and discover.
I think this will be it.
Student protests grow at universities across the US, denouncing the war on Gaza.
Now look at all the overlapping stories from Qatar, Russia, Iran, and the UK. I do need to get America in the mix. I'll work on that for next week and try my best to do this every morning at 9 or 10 o'clock-ish.
Hello, I'm Mariam Namazi. This is Al Jazeera live from Doha. Also coming up on the program.
It's important that all forensic evidence be well preserved.
The UN wants evidence from the mass graves in Gaza.
They're not as bad as press TV with the dead bodies and all that, but I mean, like, just don't show you. It's as if, like, you can't fucking, your head doesn't fill in the blanks. Your head fills in the blanks. Fucking idiots.
In the next 5 weeks.
Wow, India's voting, right? That's a good fucking percentage of the world's population. As I said, 20% of the world's countries are voting this year. I'd love to see that in a percentage of the population, world population. Right, we've seen this stuff.
After having issued a midnight deadline for students to disperse, protesters are demanding their institutions cut ties with companies that have links to Israel.
That happened a long, good while ago as well.
Go for a Mercedes or a German EV. Electric vehicles, solar panels and batteries. All part of President Xi Jinping's plan
Independence scheduled to
overhaul
take place in
China's
Glasgow later
debt-driven
today.
economy, creating cars at cutthroat prices. Competitors are watching nervously. Nicole Johnston, Sky News, Ningbo, China.
All the sport coming up shortly. Jackie, what have you got for us?
Well, it was a bad night for Arsenal, probably. A great night for Manchester City, though.
Oh,
Goals from the
yeah, look at that. Bang on the money. See the Prime Minister's questions. All right, William. All right, the Weinstein stuff, mate. Well, he's still in jail. He's not getting out in jail. This conviction, it's been quashed. It doesn't mean that he's been said that he's innocent. It's been quashed because of technical reasons. I think it was the judge ruled that there was witnesses that were testifying on other things. I brought other things into it that wasn't on trial. Anywho, so a technicality. So the last I heard is he's going to get retried in the case that's been quashed in New York is going to get retried, but the convictions in California still stand, thus he still stays in jail. So it makes you scratch your head, why the fuck has this happened? He's not going to, if Weinstein is orchestrated this, or it's his little black book or whatever, or his friendships, or you know the script, it's because I think, and I'm only putting the questions out here. I've not looked at the answers or probably even get any intention to search them out, to be honest. It's cannon fodder for the nut. But the question is, will this change his legal status in the city of New York, in the state of New York, and that would change his ability to move his assets, money, etc., sell buildings, so on and so forth. As if he was convicted of rape in New York, I think I think, this is me all thinking, there may be restrictions on moving your assets and your money about because you might have to pay compensation to the rape victim. So that's where my head's at, mate. It'll fucking come out in the wash, no doubt, but it certainly isn't. Certainly something going on. Fucking hell, man. This is a conspiracy for the flat earthers. That's computer generated, it's not a real globe! Really? Hi William, I'm full of good points from around the country.
Now today, 12 D-Day and Normandy veterans from around the country.
That's all I can think of, buddy. Like, why would this happen? Why, if this, like, was on the face of it, everybody's going, Weinstein's pulled some strings to get this to happen, which isn't beyond the realms of fucking possibilities. It's happening in New York, and that was his base for it. So that's where he would have the most influence, strings, big black books. So I'm just thinking, why? Who would benefit? Would it change Weinstein's legal fucking status to move, sell, etc., etc., assets, money, bank accounts? Will it unfreeze his bank accounts so he can go and hide the money? There's numerous shit. No doubt it'll come up in the wash. Don't tell any other conspirators that though, by the way, buddy, because they'll steal it and then it'll be on Alex Jones next week.
Gather at London's Union Jack Club ahead of the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Oh, wow.
Who's in central London
That's not the
for
top
us
of the hour
today.
news.
Good morning today. Watching. Can you tell us a little? I think we do have a few problems with the sound there, don't we?
Don't die on it! Man, don't die, don't die, man! Fucking survived World War II. Fucking dies as soon as speaking to Sky News.
Normandy and to Tehran we're going.
Lovely old gent.
Well,
When I think of these lovely old gents.
Because once war broke out, our
position that you no longer love sport, right?
Yeah, right,
What's hurting?
Poor old man. Heartstrings telling you how glory war is.
For, you know, gender equality and participation, etc. Trans women will
Stone
fight
me.
now just for existence.
She's gay.
What would your message be to other
Buy my
people out
book.
there?
It was the one where did you
Post
know about this?
office.
The one
How long? How much money can this drain from the public purse?
we built up over the years.
Oh, they've actually went there live, haven't they?
Everything that we did.
Oh god. Ban 0-hour contracts.
Million jobs. That did not happen.
No, that was one of the classic
She's a wee Glaswegian.
policy moments where a party had a
I
policy.
remember right, I heard
they
her
were told it
before.
would be a disaster, and it wasn't. And I think Conservatives generally have said, "Oh, well, it worked
They've
better
now
than we
raised
thought."
the lash, they think it's a good thing.
Yes, exactly. Johnny's in Tyne-and-Wear. Hi, John. Hey, John.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hey, you on a 0 hours contract?
Like Jeremy Vine.
I do have experience of it. My wife was seriously
Big dangly fucking arms fucking.
Company who were working on 0 hours contracts. Now, what
I swear, see the brain damage that I've given myself with fucking drinking too much. It makes me see, look at like he's dead easy.
What happened was,
even if it's like I'm looking like a big fucking.
Say for example,
Like there's Jeremy Vine as well. Oh, that is Jeremy Vine. That is a peach.
As soon as they got their feet through the door, the company would put pressure on them to do extra hours.
He's disproportionate. It's like fucking Mike Graham, fucking Jabba the Hutt. But at least Jabba the Hutt was symmetrical, man. Mike Graham's like got fucking half a face grown out his face.
For the following week. So instead of having the contracted 20 hours, they would have none.
How? Oh no, you just can't see that shit, can't you? No. Fuck, I keep forgetting. Anyway, they're talking about 0 hour contracts. I bet you the BBC's live at this fucking thing as well.
This morning are claiming
well, let's get back to the master plan.
Beginning to leave Rafah to get out because they've heard reports of the military operation is imminent. The Israeli army claim that could be over 100,000 people leaving, with no way of confirming those reports. We know that a lot of discussion has been going on about this. The cabinet that was meeting yesterday was not just talking about the operation in Rafah, it was also talking about the prospects for some kind of a ceasefire. So those talks are still going on. These Egyptian officials are reportedly here in Israel at the moment for those kind of discussions. Yesterday there was a letter, an open letter written by the leaders of 18 countries, including the US and the UK, urging Hamas to agree some kind of a deal. So that sort of process of trying to put pressure on both sides to agree some kind of a ceasefire deal is still...
Right, I was just thinking there, like, a wee bit more about what this peer thing could be all about, right? Earlier on we heard that it was just going to be like, it stinks of a strategic move, therefore. Aye, buddy. I'm assuming you're talking about the Weinstein thing. It's definitely something's going on. Do you know what I mean? That judge that's made this call would not risk in my opinion, I know I wouldn't fucking risk my fucking reputation or the backlash of the public not to get somebody out of jail if there wasn't some sort of a benefit to be had by somebody at some level, you know. Call me crazy, I just don't think every judge is that straight shooting. But this military peer thing, right? Because what made me think about this was where they're naming it, they're branding it. The meme is Gaza Aid Pier, and I'm like, well, it's going to be built and manned by soldiers, and what it is it's a floating dock, innit? Well, pier, dock, same idea, capable of taking large ships, and on that dock is big enough for vehicles. That's what he was saying. They're going to fucking unpack the big ships, put them into trucks only landing vehicles, and shimmer them over to another man-made fucking pier on the thing, mate. Alright, punk. So, you're going to have this thing just off the coast of Gaza, manned with US troops, capable of taking large military vessels, very close to Cyprus. Cyprus is fucking a military, big massive proxy military base for the United Kingdom, thus the West. So there you've got, I said it earlier on, it's a beachhead, isn't it? It's more or less a US military beachhead just off the coast of Gaza, Israel, disguised as an aid pier. And again, it's like, how can people not see the irony of selling the bombs and bullets to the people who are killing the Gazans and then giving them aid? It's like fattening pigs up before the motherfucking slaughter. It's unbelievable. In fact, it's not unbelievable. That's just a stupid saying that you regurgitate. It's not unbelievable. It's very fucking believable. It depends what you think the motives are. I believe the motives aren't what most of the press and alternative media, which is the mainstream media now, people. Twitter is the mainstream media. Although it likes to sit there and go, oh, we're owned by Elon Musk. We're alternative. No, you're a bunch of fucking windy-licking internet cunts who big Elon's just gave a red fucking light, a green light to talk pish. Batter in. More power to you. But just don't sit there thinking that he's a resistance or alternative media. Call themselves alternative media, then brag that they're getting more views than Sky News. Go and work that out. Anywho, let's get back to the aid pier. Capable of docking very large military boats, military or otherwise. What could possibly go wrong? Hundreds of United States soldiers capable of stocking aid, whether that be love bombs and bullets, rockets, fucking air defence systems. Who knows? Who knows?
Going
Be
on,
fun to watch though.
Yet it has had to bear any fruit. In the meantime, preparations for some kind of military.
See this spreading democracy stuff, mate. I hear you, but the horrible thing about the democracy they're trying to fucking spread, right? It's just been it's like butter. It's like butter that's been in the fridge all night, and they're trying to spread that shit, and they just keep ripping the fucking bread to fuck. And it keeps happening. Spread a bit of democracy. Oh fuck! The bread just ripped a hole out of this fucking piece of bread. Fuck, throw it in the bin. Fuck, Iraq, throw it in the bin. Like, let's spread some democracy. Oh fuck, Libya! Fuck, they fucking ripped a big hole in this bread called Libya. Throw that in the bin. Start somewhere else. Say, yeah, let's fucking spread some. Oh fuck! So the West's democracy they're trying to spread is like butter that's been in the fridge all night.
Operation.
Dangerous to spread.
Continue. But again, I reinforce, this is going to be a long process, not a one-off moment.
James Landale in Jerusalem, thank you.
Wig or not a wig.
The BBC has learned that a
One of the
baby who was rescued from her
womb babies!
An Israeli airstrike in Gaza has now...
Oh man, that's got everything. Did she have a wooden leg and a glass eye? Right. I want her to have a wooden leg and a glass eye, or at least look she's got to have lost at least one limb.
Died. Sabrine Al-Sakani was delivered
Oh,
by
fuck's
cesarean
sake,
section
BBC,
in
man,
Wafa
using...
Hospital shortly after midnight last Sunday.
See, that's fear porn shit, man. I'm not even joking. I'm blocking that out. I'm sick of fucking... Why the fuck are you fucking showing us that look like? There's a puppy. Oh, you can't see that? It's a puppy on Channel 5 adverts.
2 men arrested in connection with the deaths of 5 migrants in the English Channel on Tuesday have been charged and are expected to appear in court later.
Millions of pounds on this, that and the other to stop the brown people in boats. And then they find these guys within the space of, what, 2 or 3 days? I smell shit.
5 people, including a 7-year-old girl, were killed in a crush on a...
Yeah, man, I said I've written all you'd needed is like some fucking LED lights or something there and a wee bit of fucking boom, 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 boom.
Border boat crossing the channel. The UK's National Crime Agency said Yen both.
Right, here, this is a good example. Let's say this is real footage. And it's no fucking staged or anything. Right, let's just say that and work on that premise. Right, so as you can see there is a wee child. Right, can you see there? That looks, unless it's a midget, right, looks like a child. And I'm going to assume the one to the left of the child is a woman. Just, I don't know, because women look after children. And everyone's like, fucking with sticks out and all that, fucking rattling each other out the way and stuff. Right, that's why people die. Because there's too many people on the boat. Why is there too many people on the boat? Because there's too many fucking cunts trying to get on the boat because they're desperado. And that's why, not because of the way the right wing paint it, like it's a fucking invading army, it's men of military age. They love to see that, men of military age. It's fucking men that are fucking capable of pushing their way in front of women and children. Thus, this.
A 22-year-old from South Sudan has been charged with assisting unlawful immigration and attempting to arrive in the UK without valid entry clearance. Tajin Abdullah Juma, a 22-year-old Sudanese national, has been charged with attempting to arrive in the UK without valid entry clearance. A third man...
Well, look at that for a fucking shot, man. The moon in the background and everything. That is beautiful. That kind of fucking scene setting could be on Apocalypse Now.
Year-old from Sudan has been bailed pending further inquiries.
That's Hollywood-esque, man.
Now let's turn our attention to the ongoing
unlike his wig.
Inquiry, looking into what's been called
unlike this guy's wig.
Miscarriages of justice in British legal history. It's day 2 of evidence from a former senior post office executive. Angela van der Berge dealt with many of the legal cases against branch managers that saw more than 900 prosecuted.
I think I've already summarised that in less than a minute.
She said she was truly sorry.
2013 between the Victory Councils were able to questions today and in
don't recall
and
we all
more of this.
Counties for a time too, I suspect for a time
in
the south of the UK, certainly a line we think along the M4.
Let's see if it can change
through this evening and overnight.
I think that was the assessment in terms of applying as Dorian
they
said,
went live to that shit.
Despite assurance, the immediate reaction
was the head
to get by.
And here is that was the structure. That was the broad.
Yes, people, go and subject yourself to endless legalese gobbledygook. Somebody sitting there going like that, I can't recollect. I must have missed it. Like, all lawyer legalese talk, so nobody can get held accountable. But she's going to be made to look like... I wonder how much she's getting paid to be made the baddie of the play. I really wonder. Right, so that's probably what Sky News is going to be on as well. Remember, like freedom of the press. Fucking hell, man. Independent journalism from the BBC and the ITVs. You got to love it. What time are we at? 20 past. That'll be the bottom of the hour for the Al Jazeera's. It's only what? Right, you could play a drinking game with like dead Palestinians with this. I've not got any coffee left, but I'm going to pretend. every dead body you see, oh, you need to take a drink. Boom. Straight away. The stream's not going to work in it, no. I'm going to stay sober this morning then. But if you're sitting with your pals and you want a reason to get smashed in the morning, stick on Press TV and play the Dead Palestinian body game. It's well fun, man. And within 15 minutes, you're going to be canked. Canked up.
But also against Zionism. For starters,
or the Zionism game. How many body you get double fuck every time we say Zionism and show you a dead body.
Who were protesting the $95 billion aid package, of which $26 billion was going to
Press TV can't get a better talking head, man.
Now, why was Chuck Schumer picked for a protest site? Recently, he said about Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, "I worry that under his leadership, Israel would become a pariah in the world, and even in the United States. Without American support, Israel's future," he said, "could well
hurry up, man. Show me a dead body here, man. I'm getting sober.
Unthinkable a decade ago, a sign of changing times in the U.S. From a Jewish American politician to a Jewish American protester who was also arrested at that site, who said, "We as American Jews will not be used," adding, "We will not be complicit."
Iran's a big country, and that's the best that they could get to be a talking head.
And Israel is a 76-year-old colonial apartheid state. And here is their banner. Look at it very carefully, especially the spot in the middle.
Now, remember, folks, these aren't Jews. They're ultra-Orthodox Jews. Not just Orthodox Jews. You know, you get Orthodox Christians and shit like that. Not with Jews. You need to be ultra-Orthodox Jews. And stick a wee cherry on top, self-hating Jews.
To speak this way about Israel. Are U.S. politicians tired of Israel? How many have only been pressured by Israeli lobbies to support Israeli security at the cost of
Imagine staying in the UK where the only option is conservatism.
Which is why there is a Jewish
and then you would become a self-hating UK conservative.
apartheid regime.
Well, in fact, as we're slipping into fucking a fascist state, man, fucking ID cards, Tunak on top, no, don't listen to any cunt, international community can all go and fuck themselves in the fucking ass. We're going to do what we want, Rule Britannia.
Organize a grassroots, multi-racial, cross-class, intergenerational...
Oh no, you don't get any sexy legs on Press TV, maybe sometimes. Sometimes you get the wee hotties showing you a bit of forehead.
Israel is a Zionist settler project, does not speak for all the Jews, or represents a haven for Judaism.
See when they're doing the casting for Press TV and the wee hotties. Right, can you show us your forehead?
How Israel has lost its legitimacy. We've just pointed out some of them here in a list.
And remember, folks, I'm going to try and do this Monday to Friday. Hangover and permitted around 9 or 10 o'clock. Uh-oh.
And that's it for your latest here on Press TV, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
Their stream is push. And you can, if you want to even just get jacked up in caffeine, play the dead body game and see how many dead bodies all these news organisations can drip in front of us within an hour.
News Center in Moscow. This is RT. Welcome.
He looks like a fucking big fat potato with face on it.
To the global news. And we stay with our top story. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has met
with fucking be borrowed to tell, is it then, you prick?
Anthony Blinken, who is currently on a visit to Beijing,
and
attempted to salvage the frayed ties between those two world powers. Earlier, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi warned Blinken that the US must not interfere in his country's internal affairs.
Wang. That big cock in the background.
China's concerns are consistent. We always call for respecting each other's core interests and urge the United States not to interfere in China's internal affairs, not to hold China's development back, and not to step on China's red lines on China's sovereignty, security, and development interests.
Anthony Blinken has put his own demands on the table, urging fairer treatment of American companies and claiming that Beijing is threatening its neighbors in the Indo-Pacific. But
too posh to talk and steaming.
Who is really responsible for the so-called
what time is it in Russia, the new?
US and China, and for the tensions in the region. The Chinese foreign minister has said the US continues to
What time is it in
misperceive
Russia?
China with erratic policies attempting to contain Beijing. Meanwhile, the US and the Philippines have been conducting military drills in the Pacific region. It's the first time that the
What's the
annual
time in
naval
Moscow?
exercise is being held outside Manila's territorial
12:12?
waters, and that has raised
Two-
concerns
well,
among regional neighbours.
He's been doing
Now,
this for a
number
couple of
other
hours.
thorny
Maybe he just stays
diplomatic
up all
issues
night
have
getting
also
mashed.
emerged recently in relations between the US and China. Washington has signed off on an aid package to Taiwan
TikTok.
and has moved to ban the
Oh
social
well,
network
we what a world we
on
stay, man.
supposed security concerns, unless it is sold to an American or other Western investor. There's also been a
I say Bill
long-standing
Gates
trade
or
dispute
imagine
between the
Elon
US and
Musk,
China,
but
including about
pickety
export
talk.
tariffs and computer chip supplies. Earlier,
Come
I
on,
spoke to
Elon!
blogger
I think somebody should
and
get on the
political analyst
tweeters
Alex
and tell
Ripple.
Elon to
He
buy
says
TikTok.
America has been bullying China
That would be
for
fun.
a long time, but Beijing is not putting up with it.
When did the word competition become confrontational? And that's the issue here. The Americans look at Chinese competition as a threat to national security. And this is why...
Right, I'm going to stab in the dark, mate. The Americans. You're fucking American, you fucking donut. Choose your words a wee bit more wisely, man, you fucking dick.
we are at this stalemate where we are right now.
Blinken is in China, as we know at the moment, but
We
he
are
seems
the
to be
resistance.
ruffling a lot of feathers.
Now, remember, RT just gets any random fucking pish-talking fucking talking head for the internet realms, paints him as a kinda... I was saying the other day, that Scottish libertarian guy that I met with and done a few podcasts and whatnot with, Anthony Samarov, I seen him doing a live stream the other day as well, man. That's what made me think him. And he was on RT once, because he wrote a book. Anywho, and I'm like, right, that's who RT are getting on as experts. Get it.
Does the US still feel that it's the dominant partner when it comes to US-China relations?
You know, that's a very good question. I think America's game plan has been exposed.
Who is this guy?
It's the bomb
Look,
bailout.
he's a blogger and political analyst. This means that he does podcasts and fucking writes shit on the internet. He's got no authority at all. How the fuck? What the fuck? Please explain this guy's credentials and how he ends up. This isn't news, guys. This is fucking Russian propaganda, and they use talking heads' opinions. This guy's got no fucking
bankrupt
Well, anyway.
and bully program that they've been trying to do
Alex.
on many nations over the last 40 to 50 years here, and China's not buying it. We are talking about a nation that is very confident and has over 152 trading partners in its One Belt, One Road strategy.
What does it really mean for Taipei, this $8 billion? And even though we know that the US follows a one China policy, what's
the
it trying to
old
do
Joe
here?
Rogan
Well,
fucking
do they
studio look
follow
as
a
well,
one-China
man.
policy? That is the question. I mean, China's Taiwan. When we hear aid, we would think, well, maybe that's because
What
of
were
the
they
recent
blurring out
earthquake
there?
that happened on the provincial island. But no, it's actually to arm the island to the tune of $8 billion plus American taxpayer dollars coming to arm an island. I mean, imagine if Chinese arrived in maybe Manhattan and decided to meet with the local authorities there and give them $8 billion. Shocking.
Igniting tensions in the region. This is not just being done by American officials pushing for the Philippines to be ready for a potential war. It's also being done by AI. A clip purporting...
Right. Is this AI, right? Artificial intelligence, right? There is nothing artificial about this, and there's nothing intelligent about it. It's very clever algorithms which are getting used by human beings, which last time I fucking checked, we're all fucking still organic at the moment. A wee bit, mostly. Apart from Elon Musk and his chips in our brain and shit like that. Deep faking. This is just using clever computer programs to make fucking models of people.
To be the voice of the Philippines president has surfaced online.
And remember, this wasn't a robot, this wasn't a computer that went, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this video and then put it in the Philippines. This is a human being, organic, going, I'm going to use this computer program, which is uses very clever computer programs. It's not even algorithms, because you need to feed samples of the voice in. The computer then, very cleverly, can then mimic that voice into saying whatever you want. It's not fucking artificial or intelligent. It's very clever fucking programming. And this is getting rattled out. Blah, 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 blah. Everything's fucking AI now. I went for a piss. So there's a new AI fucking toilet, because there's a wee fucking sensor and you can go like that. And no, it's a sensor built by a human fucking being. Where's the artificial intelligence replicating itself into wee armies to take over the world? What this is getting used for by media fucking programs is to be able to turn round and say to you, everything's fake. Or look at this, is it AI? And then fucking when everybody loses confidence and everything, they can but make you believe anything with the power of personality, the cult of personality. Like Tommy Robinson, I think he's AI.
Where he seems to be supporting, or taking up arms, should I say, against China.
Woohoo!
Sabi ko sa ating mga magigiting na sundalo, gumanti sa China kung kinakailangan. Dapat na tayong pumalag at gamitin.
I mean, how stupid are these folks?
It has come to the attention of the Presidential Communications Office that there is video content posted on a popular video streaming platform circulating online that has manipulated audio designed to sound like President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. The audio deepfake attempts to make it appear as if the president has directed our armed forces of the Philippines to act against a particular foreign country.
Right, the audio deepfake. So, is the audio clip itself that's circulating on this website? Am I reading this wrong, or is this just lost in translation? We've done some daft drunken ruski. Is the audio file on the social media website called deepfake? So it was somebody having a joke using the computer program to replicate somebody's voice. It's not rocket science, and it ain't AI. He put something together which was so fucking ridiculous that it's a joke. So much obviously a joke, he named it deepfake. I don't know, you would need to be a journalist and look into this shit. So we're on RT right now, so we're fucked. It's just sound bites and memes to sow discontent in the Western countries.
No such directive exists.
Western allied countries.
We ask everyone to be proactive in exposing and fighting against misinformation, disinformation and malinformation. Let us remain and be more mindful and responsible of the content we choose to share in our shared digital spaces.
As AI has blurred the line between fact and fiction, this example is not a one-off event that has caused political nerves to fray. RT's...
It's not the first time somebody's used a computer program and programmed by organic humans to replicate a human's voice. There's no intelligence, there's no artificial intelligence involved at any stage of this process. AI no longer means artificial intelligence. It's a meme thrown out there to scare you.
Marina Kosareva picks up the story.
The world is approaching dangerous territory as AI technology is increasingly being abused.
This is turning into the 5G bukkake, man. Everybody wetting their knickers about 5G. Anybody died 5G yet? Well, Oh, God. I wonder if the people who were so adamant that 5G was going to kill us all are now are owning up to their fucking how the internet was able to turn them into gibbering idiots by people who had no expertise anywhere near anything they were talking about, spouting shite and never even investigating who, at the time, had a dog in the fight to demonise 5G. Well, that would have been the Five Eyes, who were in the process of stealing Huawei's 5G equipment and then kicking them out the West. Or predominantly the UK, that's how the UK done it. Oh, my Chinese man friend, you come in. You'll give us 5G stuff? We replicate and copy and kick you out. Thank you, please come again. And then everybody's over the internet. Energy weapons. Fuck's sake, man. What's going to happen when 6G comes out?
To settle political scores or achieve certain objectives. The amount of misinformation being spread online has reached unprecedented levels.
Oh,
but
shit.
now we can't
Gigi,
even
I just
rely
seen
on
you
what
saying
we
that
see
there,
or
buddy.
hear ourselves, because that too could be
Great
fake.
minds, mate,
And it's
great
all
minds.
because of deep fake pictures, audio clips, and video messages. This is what it looks like.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now our great national anthem. Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark.
Democracy.
I don't know about you. I needed the word fake above that to make sure that I knew that that was a fake. I couldn't tell by just looking at it.
It's a fragile thing. More fragile than you want to believe.
Hello, everyone. It's me, President Trump, and it's...
Oh, come on. Come on, RT. Yous are taking the fucking piss. So anybody dressing up like Donald Trump and doing a sketch to camera is now called a deep fake? What world are we... This is 1984 sequel, man. Fucking definitely. What fucking crazy universe are we staying in?
really, really me.
It was funny at first until the realization hit that it could really change people's perspectives and perception of reality. And it's of the utmost importance now because roughly half of the world's population is expected to go to the polls in 2024. A very dangerous...
God! RP, thank you very much! Answered my fucking question for me. That's the first bit of fucking journalism and a stat, a worthwhile stat taken away from RT I can remember. I think. Oh shit, can I repeat that so I can remember it?
Hit that it could really change people's perspectives and perception of reality. And it's of the utmost importance now because roughly half of the world's population...
So 50% of the world's population has or will vote this year, and it's 20% of the countries. I thought it would be like that kind of ratio, because especially when I heard India was in the mix, you know, a lot of Europe is or has voted. So thank you very much, Harty.
Is expected to go to the polls in
for that.
2024. A very dangerous tool in the wrong hands.
Policymakers around the world are worried about...
I think that Trump one could definitely change the opinions of Americans, you know. With the fucking giraffe.
how deep fakes could mislead, inflame...
I'm not listening to this. I'm not listening to this piss.
It was actually a robot made to sound like Joe Biden.
Are they talking about Joe Biden himself looking like a robot?
Discouraging them from voting in the primary.
Republicans have been trying to push nonpartisan and Democratic voters to participate in their primary. What a bunch of malarkey. We know the value of voting Democratic when our votes count. It's important that you save your vote for the November election. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in...
I think there is something you still can hear that isn't 100% right about it. Number one, Biden isn't mumbling. maybe RT should employ Joe Biden, man, when he gets a wee bit more further on in his dementia.
November, not this Tuesday.
The problem is that you can't guarantee that everyone will know or eventually discover that it was fake, especially when it spreads online like wildfire. And India is well aware of this problem and is bracing itself as it holds its biggest election in history, in the world's history, actually.
I was going to say, how many people are in India? Is it over a billion or some shit?
Deep fake videos in the
I've
past.
got my brain.
Like this one, for example, shared by a local political party showing
What's the
a minister
population of
asking
India?
people to vote against his own party. And there was nothing anyone could do
What's the
but watch the
population of
number of
India?
views quickly climb to 500,000.
Of course, it was AI generated, though it looks completely real.
Here we go. Oh, he's a number biatch. 7th largest country. Oh my god. See, this is AI. 1.4, just over 1.4 billion. So why is China's elections not been the biggest in history? Because they're no classed as elections.
But a normal voter would not be able to distinguish. Voting had started when the video was posted.
Right, so are you trying to tell me there's people out there that would fall for, let's say, Richie Sunak coming out and going, yeah, vote for Sir Keir Starmer?
Popular Bollywood actors claim that Prime Minister Modi failed to keep his campaign promises or address critical economic issues, and that people should vote for someone else. Neighboring Pakistan also saw a surge in deepfakes ahead of its general election a couple of months ago, with Imran Khan being shown calling for a boycott. Over in Slovakia, a 2-minute conversation between a journalist and one of the candidates may have decided the parliamentary election there last year. Just 2 days before the vote, an audio file went viral online.
Right, this isn't them talking about AI being dangerous. This is him talking about the information wars. YouTube was known, to me it was obvious, and people came out and suggested it. I know people in the still in the Truther Industrial Complex were fighting the Illuminati ticket, will disagree. But YouTube was clearly used to, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Mobilise, that's it. Mobilise support for Trump, which got him the election. Social media was used. YouTube was a fucking the Wild West. You could monetize anything and make dough for it. So if you had a model where you could traffic, bots, shine light on, promote, propagate clips that would promote a certain political viewpoint, talking point, ideology, etc., and you could funnel clicks to that. People who had their channels monetized, and they're like, right, okay, I'm putting up a clip about a donkey, it's making me zero. I'm putting up a clip about UKIP, it's making me a fortune. You've got a monetary incentive which human beings are driven by to put out more UKIP shit and stuff about donkeys. Right? It's not rocket science. I understand that happened. I witnessed it, partook in it, and that's why they changed the landscape of what can and cannot get monetized on YouTube's, and that's why I will never get any of my stuff monetized on YouTube. You need to be a fucking bedtime storyteller like Count Spunkula. He's not sold out, he's still got a channel where he sucks Tommy Robinson's balls. Right, cool. He sold you. Anyway. Now they've got. I know they're showing you fucking Terminator. Oh man, look, the Terminator's coming. I'll be back. I'll be. Fuck off, RT. Fucking. And I've got some expert on that can't afford a fucking webcam for his webcams for 1988. Live to you from fucking my VHS. Oh, look at this computer model. This will show you success story.
The World Economic Forum and the CEO of American finance firm JP Morgan Chase have issued gushing praise of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Modi has done an unbelievable job in India. He's taken 400 million people out of poverty. Really? And we're lecturing them how to do things? They've got an unbelievable education system, unbelievable infrastructure. They're lifting up that whole country. He's tough, but I think you have to be tough to break that down, and he's breaking down some of the bureaucracy. They have, I think it's 29 states or something like that. We need a little bit more of that here.
India is doing incredibly well.
Breaking down the bureaucracy, we need a little more of that there, i.e. we need more centralisation of power for me and people like me, the banks.
I have to say it is the fastest growing of the large economies in the world. If India continues with its reforms, I think in the coming decade it can become a 10 trillion economy.
Cha-ching, motherfuckers!
And what does this mean? It
means you're going to start hearing a lot more about India on propaganda channels like this.
It means that India will be the third largest economy in the world, and it means that more people will get opportunities for jobs and a better livelihood.
India is one of the world's fastest growing economies. Forecasts
Third
suggest
biggest
it
in the
can
world
become
in 10 years,
top
part of the
three global
BRICS.
economies within
China,
3
part of the
years,
BRICS,
alongside
biggest
the
economy in the
US and
world.
China. As
How
of
things
now, its
stacking up?
economy is expanding at an
War!
annual rate of
Woo!
6 to 7%,
Yeah! It
with
is happening because we're running out of money. Sing it again!
One of India's main advantages is its good relations with countries around the world as it sticks to a policy of non-intervention and of not taking sides in conflicts. India's progress is based on the massive growth of its infrastructure and service industries. Economics expert Jack
expanding lower middle class.
China and India.
Imagine that, Russia today bigging up
if
a
China
BRICS
and India
country.
are not playing
what the economy and
right, here's another guy for the
global
internet.
South, led by
On
China
RT is
and
a
the BRICS
expert.
and India and the others. Well, the latest group here is the petro countries. In the Middle East have joined 34. Can't throw sanctions. Their entry.
Found in a
Right, I think I've done a fairly good roundup. I want to try and get up as quick as I can, so let's have a wee look. Ooh, he cancels a wee speech. Look at the picture, man, that's a peach. Former head of the communications, Yusuf was bullish during FMQs. I'm struck by his tone. Good Morning Scotland programme. Parted with the Greens on slightly better terms. You obviously saw the reaction of Lorna Slater and Patrick Harvey. They were absolutely livid at the way the SNP went about this. It's a matter of when, not if, you'll step down. Oh, fuck. Can he move for fucking dickhead politicians, man? There we go. Yusuf cancelled a plan. What the fuck? Illuminati try to stop that. Did you see that? Cancelled a planned speech as he battles for political survival. He was due to speak about the Labour strategy and independent. Oh fuck! Where did I see that thing about something in Glasgow? A meeting or some shit in Glasgow. That's what it must have been. There must have been. Aye, there we go. I think because there was a planned protest or something, wasn't there? No doubt there would have been. Wouldn't have been good optics. Allies of the First Minister says he will continue fighting. Due to speak about the Labour strategy and independent Scotland Q&A sessions. Aye, that would have been about independence. It would have been a farce. So, like, being objective, man, he was right to cancel it because it wouldn't have been about fucking independence. It would have been a shit show. it had just all been about him losing power and whatnot. So I think that's what the fuck is this? Alright, motor brum brums. About 3 years ago, first bus. Yeah, homeless village. Why don't we just call it a fucking concentration camp? Get over me. Concentration camp for the smelly. You know, like, it's like calling the military base, the floating military base that's getting built out off the shore of Gaza as a aid pier. It's a military port. What's that club going to lose its license? Deaths. Nightclub where teens died. Women 77. Fuck. Paisley Road West. Fuck. Clough 12. Fuck, man. 77-year-old man, that's fucking horrible. Right, I think it must have been that speech with Humza that I caught on the how the fuck did the police turn up? Oh fuck, I must have missed that. It's just across the road for me. Some couldn't get flung out. Armed police swooped. 39-year-old was attacked in Lincoln Avenue. Aye, that is just up the road from me, man. 5 PM. Do you know what, by the way? I did see all those coppers, but I was on Dumbarton Road, Argyle Street. And I just seen hunters of fucking blues and twos going by me. I even mentioned it in one of my live streams. It was like, I just seen a cop dirt bike, which was weird, go by. You know, they can get in between the traffic and get places quicker. And the prop is underway to catch the thug responsible, so he got away. Footage shared on social media. Clutching assault rifles outside the high-rise flats. 28-second clip. Clip which is believed to have been filmed from the window of a flat within one of the blocks. Zooms in on an officer as they walk away. Right, so it's fucking nothing. It was an assault. Serious assault. Man took to... Right, so there was an assault. I know how to sex it up, didn't they? The Merlini story. Tories super deal. Right, so it must have been that speech there. I think the tagline I seen under one of the news outlets, I can't remember what one now, was them talking about protest in Glasgow, or I can't even remember what I read now. That's such a good memory. But I think there might have been a protest, but he's pulled out. Because that would have been fun to pop my head in. What did it say, Strathclyde Uni? I could have popped into that quite easy. Anywho, so that's like a wee roundup of what's happening in the news today. If you did enjoy it, make sure you stick a wee thumbs up. I'm going to end the poll 2 seconds, so if you want to get involved. Is Weinstein's rape conviction being quashed a slap in the face for the victims? If I'd had time to think about it, I would have had a different question, and it would have been, is Weinstein's conviction getting quashed in New York to change his legal status for him to move, sell, assets, properties, to change his legal situation to affect his financial assets or his financial dealings. There's no doubt that guy's still sitting with a lot of dough in a lot of places, and I don't know legally how you cannot touch it while you are in and out jail. I do know that states have different states laws, so for this to happen in New York, and this judge willing to take the public backlash, which is, it's not only very predictable, it's inevitable. There must be something going on. Let's get ready to mumble. I'm going to steal that, because if I do this thing at these times, man, we'll have that wiggy guy on the BBC and the I don't know if you're talking about Biden or the guy on RT, mate. It could be either. Are they still just going live with this fucking? Oh, you just can't see the Jeremy Vine shit. That's weird as fuck. Anyway, that is 11 o'clock. Couple hours. I'm good. So that's what you're going to think about today. The SNP stuff. Let's just recap. The SNP stuff. Weinstein. The new vaccination for cancer, skin cancer. China and US meet. Scottish Greens will vote to oust the minister. The post office stuff. That lovely murder by a 13-year-old, knife crime in the school in Wales. Reading terror stabbing, inquest due to conclude. Whoa, that's brilliant. 2 men charged in Channel deaths. Baby airlifted to Rome. That's lovely. First personalised jabs, mRNA vaccines. You notice, I did notice that earlier on, by the way, and then I didn't bring it up because I noticed they were calling it a vaccine. But when I first heard about the stories, they were calling them jabs. It's just a little jab. No vaccinations. Just, I didn't notice that. I wonder if that will continue. 2 men arrested in torso murder inquiry. And they found a torso the other day. Beautiful. A human torso was found near the bunker earlier in the month. So that's what the old PoliTITS and the reporters of the PoliTITS is telling you to think about today. Now, I close my curtains because the sun was making an appearance. Yes, it is. But apparently it's meant to be Baltic. Anywho, I'm going to try, stick a wee thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I'm going to try and get involved in the poll. Last call for alcohol poll. And I'm going to try and do this Monday to Friday, so check in Monday to Friday around 9-10 o'clock. And I can do it when I am interested in fucking subjecting myself to this pish. I do this in the morning anyway, you know, so I live stream it and it makes it a wee bit more. It's not just all pure dead bodies. Right, so 14 votes. So is the Weinstein rape conviction being quashed? A slap in the face to the victims? Yes. 50% no. 43%. It's not a flat slap in the face. It's just laughable. So I think even that 43%, you could argue that it's maybe people sniffing towards there's something else going on here. You know, it's not just like a judge trying to be honourable. Best joke of the day. So let do that. So GG Unchain, our unicorn Land Rover. William Punk. Everybody that poked their head in, Devon. Thank you very much, guys and girls. Have a nice afternoon, y'all. Like a lizard, I'm going to go and get out in the sun.
Clips. And remember,
first citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of